Welcome to the Inner Collective. Today, we unravel a profound paradox, a widely accepted truth that, for many, quietly leads to deeper struggle. The paradox of the unyielding smile, why positive thinking often traps the growing mind. This journey into the depths of our psyche includes subtitles. Follow along, absorb, and let your inner landscape shift at its own rhythm. From ancient philosophies to modern self-help, the directive echoes: cultivate optimism, banish negativity, envision success, and it shall be yours. It's a promise of effortless transformation, a light switch for the soul. And for years, perhaps you, like many of us, diligently tried to flip that switch. You chased the sunrise, even when the clouds loomed heavy. You whispered affirmations into the void, hoping to conjure reality. You meticulously pruned away every thorny thought, striving for a garden of pure joy. Yet why then, when life inevitably presented its storms, the quiet disappointments, the sharp rejections, the unyielding burdens, did that internal garden feel less like a sanctuary and more like a fragile glasshouse, susceptible to shattering? The very tool designed to lift you up, the power of positive thinking, might have inadvertently become a heavy cloak, a garment you wore to protect yourself, but which ultimately stifled your breath, obscured your vision, and kept you from truly moving forward. It's a subtle, almost insidious mechanism, because on the surface, it feels so inherently good. Today, we're not here to demonize hope or extinguish optimism. Instead, we're here to dissect the misapplication of a powerful concept, to understand that true inner strength doesn't come from the absence of shadows, but from the courage to walk through them, armed with more than just a forced smile. The core issue lies in a fundamental misinterpretation. We often treat negative emotions not as vital internal messengers, but as unwanted intruders to be immediately evicted. Joy is welcomed, but sadness is a trespasser. Anger is a pollutant, fear an enemy to be conquered with a burst of manufactured courage. This isn't positive thinking, this is emotional amputation. Imagine navigating a complex landscape, but choosing to ignore your compass when it points north, simply because you prefer to go east. Your negative emotions, sadness, anger, fear, frustration, are precisely that compass. They are data points, signals from your inner world and your environment. They tell you where you're hurt, where boundaries have been crossed, where danger might lurk, or where something needs changing. When positive thinking becomes a mandate to suppress these signals, we effectively blind ourselves. We smile through pain that demands healing. We power through exhaustion that screams for rest. We ignore injustice that cries out for action. This forced optimism creates a cognitive dissonance, a painful clash between your inner truth and your outward performance. The psychological cost is immense. Firstly, by consistently overriding your emotional compass, you slowly erode your emotional intelligence. You lose the ability to truly feel and interpret your inner world, becoming disconnected from your authentic needs and limits. This leaves you vulnerable, as genuine problems remain unaddressed, festering beneath the surface of enforced cheerfulness. Secondly, this approach fosters a deceptive passivity. If merely thinking positively is the solution, then why engage in the messy, often uncomfortable work of problem solving or personal growth? It breeds a kind of magical thinking, where manifestation replaces meticulous effort. This isn't empowered living, it's a subtle form of surrender, leaving you waiting for external circumstances to align rather than actively shaping your path. Thirdly, and perhaps most acutely felt within the inner collective, it creates profound isolation. You built an impenetrable fortress of fabricated contentment around yourself. Others, sensing the inauthenticity, find it hard to connect genuinely. You in turn fear revealing your true struggles, because to do so would be to admit failure in maintaining the required positive facade. This isn't just a personal failing, it's a collective wound. We've been taught that vulnerability is weakness, that struggle is something to be hidden. But true human connection, the very essence of the inner collective expanding outward, thrives on shared authenticity, not perfected performance. The more you insist on the unyielding smile, the deeper the chasm grows between your inner truth and your outer presentation. So, how do we dismantle this psychological trap? How do we reclaim the genuine power of our minds without falling prey to its well-meaning but ultimately harmful misdirection? The answer doesn't lie in abandoning all positive thought, but in broadening our definition of strength. The true path forward begins with a radical commitment. Embrace the full spectrum of your inner weather. Learn to dance with both sunlight and shadows. This is the practice of radical acceptance of what is now. Not what you wish it was, not what you hope it will be, but the unvarnished present reality of your emotions, your circumstances, your limitations, and your strengths. It's acknowledging the rain rather than pretending the sun is shining. It's saying, this hurts, I am sad, I am angry, this is difficult. Not as a complaint, but as a grounded, honest observation. This courageous acknowledgement disarms the emotion, stripping it of its power to control you from the shadows. Once accepted, these negative emotions transform from enemies into valuable information. Instead of suppressing, you process. You allow the feeling to move through you, understanding what it's trying to tell you. This might involve mindful journaling, where you simply observe your thoughts without judgment. It could be a courageous conversation with a trusted confidant, not for solutions, but for honest witness. Or seeking professional guidance to navigate particularly dense emotional terrain. The key is to listen to the message, and then release the messenger. And from this place of clarity, rooted in acceptance and informed by processed emotion, emerges conscious, aligned action. This isn't impulsive reactivity or desperate grasping. It's purposeful movement, even if small and imperfect, driven by genuine understanding of your internal landscape and external reality. Ask yourself, now that I truly acknowledge and understand what I'm feeling, what is the next authentic, sustainable step I can take, even if it feels uncomfortable? This action is powerful because it originates from truth, not forced illusion. This integrative approach is the true alchemy of the inner collective. It transmutes the raw material of human experience, the pain, the fear, the doubt, into the gold of wisdom, resilience, and authentic growth. It teaches you that wholeness isn't about being perpetually up, but about being able to skillfully navigate the natural ebbs and flows of life, embracing every part of your experience. You are intrinsically allowed to be uncertain. You are allowed to be messy. You are allowed to not have all the answers. You are allowed to feel lost sometimes, to make mistakes, to stumble, to grieve. This permission is not a weakness. It is the ultimate liberation. It frees you from the exhausting burden of a constant, performative positivity. When you consciously choose to shed the unyielding smile, when you bravely lean into the full spectrum of your human experience, and when you take those genuine, imperfect steps born from your authentic self, you invite true connection, not merely with others, but most importantly, with the very core of who you are. The inner collective within you begins to harmonize. This authentic connection is not earned through flawless performance or ceaseless cheer. It's forged in the fires of honesty, compassion, and radical vulnerability. It's the profound realization that your true strength isn't in avoiding pain, but in your capacity to feel it, learn from it, and emerge not necessarily unscathed, but undoubtedly more wise and whole. And as it turns out, This integrated, multifaceted approach is where you truly find your grounding, where you discover genuine support, deep empathy, and the profound wisdom that only comes from embracing all parts of yourself. This is where your inner collective truly thrives. If this exploration of the unyielding smile resonated with a deeper knowing within you, if it shed light on patterns you've quietly navigated, or if it gave voice to feelings you haven't quite articulated before, please share your insights in the comments below. Let your voice join the inner collective. You are never truly alone in your struggles. Our shared humanity is built upon these very paradoxes, and sometimes simply naming them is the first courageous step towards authentic liberation. Thank you for listening to the Inner Collective. Cultivate your inner landscape with wisdom and compassion.